Howdy, Jeff. Oh, you're muted.
Hey Ross, how you doing?
There we go. Hey, how's it going?
Good, good. Yourself?
Doing pretty good. Staying busy on this holiday Monday here.
Yeah, it's a good time to actually sit down and catch up on stuff, right?
Right? Yeah, exactly. How's everything going with you? Where are you calling in from?
From Brooklyn, New York.
Oh, nice. Cool.
How about you?
I'm in Vegas right now.
Right now? It's a vacation or?
No, I go between like here and San Diego a lot. So uh I was just in San Diego yesterday actually, but back in work mode, so ready to get things rolling this week. I'm headed out to Nashville tomorrow to do this AI convention talk to a bunch of business owners in Nashville, which should be pretty interesting.
Really? What's the convention?
It's going to be, it's not, I mean, a convention. It's more of like kind of like a meetup of small business owners and just kind
Mhm.
of how to use AI and automation for lead generation and kind of the talk about how to not be so overwhelmed with all the AI stuff going on and how to actually kind of integrate it in your business so that it enhances existing processes rather than it distracting and taking time away from other things and yada yada.
Cool.
So, hey Lucas, thanks for joining today.
Hi there, how are you? No worries. Thank you for organizing this.
Yeah, of course. Where are you calling in from?
Czech Republic, Europe.
Oh, okay, right on. Cool, cool. Well, as more people join kind of throughout the hour or so, typically now I like to start off just doing general Q&A while people join and kind of hope work with the guys that join early. So Jeff, I guess if you have any early questions, Lucas will come to you after Jeff. Jeff,
Gotcha.
you have any questions? We can kind of start off.
Okay, thanks. I did log into the platform and I was looking at it at both the agency view and as a sub account. And my question is, what does it look like from a sub account view in terms of onboarding, signing up, when they land on the home page, which could be our page
Mm-hmm.
with the white label, how does that look to them?
Yep. I've got a nifty little mind map here that will help illustrate that. All right, you able to see that?
Yes.
Cool. All right, so basically this is like a very step-by-step for starting from like what you would see when you first go to the homepage and sign up and log in. So you've already done a lot of those things. But what we want to do is what happens when somebody, for instance, goes to your page. So for example, we're in the white label agency level. We'd be logged into think of this as your agency. And this would be logged into what you or your customers would see. So these theoretically would be your tiers, let's say. So they would be able to, pick a package. And when they pick one of those packages, they'll be redirected back to Stripe. So this would be your Stripe. So after they pay you and all that money goes directly to your Stripe, then they would be redirected back to your white label dashboard, in which they would only be able to see the chatbot and account and users for their sub account. And that would have the allocated chatbots and the allocated message credits based off of what you have set in your packages over here.
Okay. And our own company branding, is it limited to the top left icon in the screen, or is there other ways to continue branding?
It's throughout the entire platform. So all the links, including the share links, as well as the embed links, and even the API endpoints are all customized to your domain. So when you add your domain here. This is the one that we use for everything across the platform. So you add it in here. And then, so for example, if you go into your chatbots and you get like a get shareable link, this will be your custom domain.
Got it. Okay.
Embed code will have your custom domain.
And that could either be a root or a subdomain?
Yeah. Most people do a subdomain. We've had some people do it as the main, but typically it's a sub. And then as well, so this is also white labeled. So this will change to your agency's name. And then this will be white labeled, and it's even inside all the code as well. So if your clients even go this deep into the API documentation, it's all white labeled from the very beginning.
Just for inspiration, do you have any of your customers who've done their own rebranding?
Yeah. We the one we had on the website, we had to take down because his got spammed so much.
Oh.
So we actually just reached out to a few other dozen of our agencies to see if we can use them. So we'll be adding those to our website shortly.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Lucas, do you have any burning questions I can help you with?
Well, unfortunately, no, not really. I was talking to Drew earlier,
Okay.
last week or something like that, because I missed the office hours 2 weeks ago. So I kind of went through all of this with him.
Mhm.
If something comes up, I'll ask. One thing maybe I'll clarify or need your help with. When taking the say knowledge base for a demo chatbot on the agency or my agency website, and if, apart from scraping the Stammer AI website, would you suggest anything else?
In terms of like adding that to your version of the chatbot, right? Is that?
Well, yeah, adding that to the demo version for potential clients to check out the chatbot, because there's not really any knowledge I can give it for. There's only your information about, because it's your product, of course, right?
Gotcha.
So yeah.
Yeah. So the way that I would actually do this is I would like to do, make this super easy on yourself. I would probably go to ChatGPT and open up a new conversation window with this Web Pilot plugin. And then what you could do is open up Stammer and copy the URL and paste in the URL and be like, help me use the copy from this website and rephrase for my new columns.
Right. That's one thing. But I meant the knowledge base for the chatbot that'll be on the agency website for the potential clients to try and see how it works, right?
Yeah,
To get
so
the
there's a couple places you could get it from, like just copying and pasting the links from here. That would be another place. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, probably. So the best thing is just to get the links from your website and yeah, give that to the chatbot, right?
Yeah. And then I would
Yeah.
just make sure that when you copy, like when you do that, if you do it direct that way, it's going to say Stammer everywhere. So
Right, of course. Yeah, good point.
yeah. So in that case, that's why I was just mentioning like this little
Oh yeah, of
use
course.
case.
Sorry. Yeah, I gotcha.
So like it'll automatically change all the information from Stammer to rephrase it to be for yada yada AI.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, makes sense. Sorry. Thank you.
Yeah. And that's one of the ways that we've started to make really, really good base system prompts. So let's see, where is it? So similarly, this is a little tutorial to help you write a really good base system prompt. And the base system prompt is the how the chatbot interacts with the data that's in the knowledge base. And so there's even the example that we use right now for Stammer's base system prompt right here. And so you can kind of take.
I haven't found this. Nice. All right.
Yeah, here I'll send a link in the chat.
Oh yeah, that's nice.
And so you can copy and paste this in, and then similarly to that version right here where it says, you can take all that information and then it will rewrite it for you out of, yours. You can paste in your website example, and then it will fill out all the placeholders, company name, with the information from the website that you enter in here.
Yep. Right, thank you. That's a question well answered for me. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah, so I think that's that for now. I don't really have any burning questions, like you said. Yeah.
Cool. Jeff, back to you. Anything else?
Yeah, I ran out of my credits on the test account pretty quickly. I was wondering if I could
send me your
use
email.
What's that?
Send me your email. I'll add some right now.
Thank you. I will in a second. Could we use our own API from ChatGPT?
That's not something that we've kind of looked into. We're trying to keep the platform super simple. That might be something we offer in the future when we look into doing local installations with other models. Because we will be doing Llama 2, and hopefully we'll be getting Claude 2 in there shortly as well.
Okay, so for right now, it's reselling the tokens.
Yep, exactly. Yep.
Oh. And so as our customers want to increase usage, we would just scale up their plan to stay consistent with that.
Exactly. Yeah. So right now we're seeing people kind of resell their credits to their end users for about 1 cent a message credit. And then it just makes a lot, makes sense to the end user. Like, oh, it's 1 cent a message.
Right. For just 1 cent a message.
Yeah.
I didn't see any of the integration tools for Zapier on your site. I assume you have a private app over there that we'd be able to access.
So the integration right now is just using the webhook in Zapier, and there's 3 fields that you copy and paste over, and there's a couple examples in there, and I can send you the link for that. And then we are working on the private app as well as the public version, because our API is fully public. It's just a little tricky because it's like we're doing it on 2 different layers.
Okay, I just sent you the email. This is the first white label I've really seen on the AI stuff. I mean, I look at a lot of it, so it's great that you have it.
Appreciate it. Yeah, that was our main focus from the very beginning, was to focus on the foundation of the platform first, because kind of from the very beginning, I saw that chatbots and this whole kind of thing was going to be commoditized extremely quickly by the competition, because there's a lot of things out there that allow you to kind of make very similar things, but it doesn't necessarily align with the end user or the businesses that are trying to make money from it.
Mm-hmm.
So I just looked at Go High Level, GHL, and their model, and was just like, oh, they raised $60 million. I could probably, not reinvent the wheel and go white label first and focus on that stuff to align ourselves with our customers, to then allow them to do the marketing for us and grow from there. And it's just now starting to snowball and pick up speed, where people are starting to have that realization. And then a lot of people are also coming back to us after they try some of these other platforms like Voice Flow, BotPress, and they're like, at scale, when you have all these things like kind of spider web together, they fail a lot, or they're kind of fragile. They're not as reliable.
Got some pretty exciting stuff planned for Q1.
Yeah. There's a lot of opportunity from what I've seen in this space, servicing the agents, the white label agency, or the online digital marketing agency. I've been, I'm a website developer by trade. That's kind of, my background. And the reason that we have the tag on the website, like, for agencies by agency, is because I've been, trying to scale beyond my time or what I can hire out to do with a fully scalable offer that's related to software. And once GHL and some of these other platforms came around, I realized that's kind of how a lot of these people are going to start thinking after they get through it after a few years. Mm-hmm. Yep, for sure. Another cool thing that we just released, we just pushed update 1.7.1. And so that includes a new feature called auto billing. So this is an optional feature that allows you to essentially make sure that your agency never runs out of chatbots or message credits. So that way, when your customers want to purchase, so let's say you have 5 chatbots in your available balance, and one of your packages is selling 10 chatbots. When a customer purchases that package from you, they will get 5 from your available, and then you will be charged for 5 from Stammer. That 5 will immediately go to the customer, leaving you with available of zero balance. And then that way, ideally, because you're getting paid first, the money that we're charging you is coming out of the money that the customer is paying you. And the same thing kind of works for message credits, but instead of it being a direct one-to-one, it's based off of the 3 different package tiers that we have on the website. So $10 is 2,000 credits. Forget the other tiers. I think 100 is $35,000, or 100 is 35,000 credits. And you can basically select that, or it automatically selects that based off of how many you need. So if you have 5,000 credits available and the customer purchases 10,000, it would purchase the middle package for 12,005 credits, 500 credits, and then you would be left with 7,500 credits after they get their 10,000.
So, all right, is that mean we're carrying the overage of credits that we need to sell? Or I didn't quite understand the fact that we would have an abundance of credits if they got bumped up to the middle tier.
So it's only as needed. So if I got the example here. Okay, so optional, do. Okay, so if your agency currently has 5,000 message credits, a customer purchases a package containing 10. If you have auto billing enabled, you will be charged for Stammer for the $50 package, which is 12,500 credits. That brings your total available to 17,500. Your customer will immediately get their 10,000, leaving you a 7,500 available.
But then aren't we carrying the cost of those credits?
Yeah, but this is only when you are getting paid by your customer. So in the same way that, a
Okay,
customer is
I
just
got
signing
it.
up. Yeah.
Let's see. Oh,
This
actually,
would,
that's a pretty good cushion for the reseller.
and you can price it at whatever you want.
Yeah,
So like,
sure.
because we're charging you this, and like I said, most people are charging 1 cent. So that's more than double this price.
Yeah, yeah. That's great. That's great.
Because we think as this, like you mentioned earlier, as this starts to trend, agencies' ability to make money truly scales with the more chatbots or the more credits that are used.
Mhm.
So it'll be interesting to see kind of when we add some of these other models that aren't necessarily reliant on true token cost from another service. So that'll be interesting to see.
You find that most of the, well, I don't know if you know this, but most of the resellers' customers opt to choose the 3.5 model just because it's cheaper per credit.
For right now, yes, that we have been seeing that. The feedback that we've been getting has been it's not that much better in most use cases. The use cases where it's like really kind of makes a difference is when you're trying to run somebody through a logical flow of questions to then generate a response. So for the use case example for that would be like generating a quote based off of the responses a user gives about their home to provide a seller quote. So like regardless if the user takes the chatbot off course to ask it, what are your office's open hours, the chatbot would then answer that correctly, but then also then add in the question that then it has then been instructed to ask. So for example, it could be like, how many bedrooms, how many bathrooms, what's the condition? And then as the user progressively answers those questions, it then can build out the quote.
Right.
And yeah.
Right. Here are a few interesting questions to ask based on, your last question. I get that now with VoxScript a lot.
Yeah, it's interesting because like it might not necessarily convert on the one-to-one, but at scale, when you're providing 100 more quotes per day than what the other, like it just scales out because the number scales out. So then that's where we start to see people being like, oh, we can now use this as a true lead generation capture or lead generation tool that's AI based, and that's how they kind of position it and structure it as this more sales tool.
Right. Oh, okay. That ties back into your roadmap. That's great.
Exactly. Yeah. And everything that kind of the roadmap mentions is all just extensions of the functionality that we've had to build as the core features to start. We can only capture user data within a chat interface after we're able to capture their data in a form interface like everyone else.
Mhm.
So we're progressively trying to build as we talk with more users and then get your guys' feedback so that way platform gets better as we, continuously make these improvements.
Sure. Yeah, of course.
And then the other quick thing on the auto billing. So right now, what I just mentioned is for the agency level for auto billing. We're now, and this is kind of that same process. We have to kind of, stepping stones. Now that we have auto billing for agencies, we're now going to be working on creating auto billing for sub accounts. So in that scenario, your clients would be able to add their credit card details to your white label dashboard into their sub account and select a package, or the same scenario would be when they run out of message credits, they automatically get billed at one of your tiered message credit packages. And so that way their chatbot and they never run out of message credits.
Yeah, sure. You definitely want the consistency
Exactly.
to reduce support calls and also, reduce churn and also keep billing consistent.
Exactly. Yep.
Hey, what happened? I ran out of credits. What's going on with you guys over there? And so, yes.
If I might,
Go ahead.
if I might, I have a quick question.
Yeah.
About the languages. What's the limitation on there?
So within the chatbot itself, because it's run with OpenAI, it can be used in roughly 100 and something, 20-ish languages they claim.
Yeah.
So that's essentially the answer for the actual chatbot itself.
Yep.
For the dashboard and the interface and everything else, we've added, I believe, 9 languages as of today.
Yep. Amazing.
And then we have the next round of languages probably coming up in Q4 sometime. And right now we have Polish, Turkish, and yeah, those are the 2 ones right now. If you have another one, we can get that added too.
Right. So, and that's obviously for individual sub account. It doesn't have to be set up for the whole agency, right?
Yeah, it's per user actually.
All right. Yeah. Makes sense. Yeah. Cool. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Another cool resource I'll share. A lot of the questions I get quite often are related to pricing and like kind of positioning. And so related to some of the other information that we've talked about, I put all that into a video on YouTube. Hey, Adam, how's it going?
Hey, it's going great, brother. How are you?
Good. Thanks for joining.
Yeah, I've been meaning to jump on, and I was really like hitting things hard this weekend and punching a bunch of buttons. So I had a bunch of questions.
Nice. Feel free to shoot them.
Okay, so I hope you didn't already answer this, and I apologize for being late, and I don't want to be
All good.
So I've got a question on the training aspect of the AI and the bot. Okay, so I've been kind of coming up against, so I've put in certain files, and those files are of a, let's say, legal type nature. Okay, so they're not legal advice, but the bot is really blocking me. They will do what I want sometimes, and then when I try to duplicate it, it won't do it again, and I keep getting. So I don't have the prompt skills, or where would I get those prompt skills to kind of get around this quote unquote, we can't do legal advice here. We're not giving legal advice. We have a legal research, so we're putting up like a bunch of research information that people can get access to. How can I better train the AI that you guys are using to, let's say, get around this not wanting to do what I wanted to do?
Okay. So you said it has worked at certain times though.
Okay, so I put in something and I said, okay, I need this affidavit, and I have the affidavit there. I said, just give me this, please create this affidavit. Okay, so it comes in, it creates this document, and everything's fine. Then when I try to do it the second time, immediately afterwards, it says, you know, this is a AI language model and we're not allowed to give legal advice. I said, okay. And I even tried to Dan it. I said, Dan, you know, blah, 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 do it anyways.
Okay.
And, you know, whatever. I'm not asking for legal advice. Just, and the actual affidavit is a document that I uploaded. Okay. So
Okay.
it's from a document. I just want them to reproduce the document that I have there for somebody in a certain way by asking a question. And the only way I found around that, which seems, is that I have to put that into the question and answer. So I can do that, but it's a shit ton more work versus if I'm able to get a prompt or get some more distinctive training on what they're going to allow for my circumstance through versus not by you know, some prompt commanding.
Okay. Okay, so there's two things I'll recommend. The first is updating the base system prompt, and I'll show you a bit more about that in a minute. But the other thing I'd mention is, so there's a experimental field, let's call it,
Okay.
called the prompt template. And
Okay.
this big warning, do not modify this unless you understand what you're doing. So this is essentially what we've set up to when an AI chatbot gets sent a query by a user. That query is then searched against the knowledge base to then get results. Those results are then sent to OpenAI to generate the response, at which point we get that response and then send it back to the user. This is the equation, so to speak, that allows you to kind of slightly control this a little bit more. So instead of it being query and results, what you could do is delete this and put in you are to write affidavits. I don't even know how to spell that. Affidavits.
Yep.
But you are to write that based on the user's query, and then put in this short code right here.
And based on the files that we've uploaded or the files in the database?
Yeah. So like exactly. So you would say like, because by default they're not necessarily set up to create documents. It's a conversation. So this section allows you to change it from being just a query response to query do something else. Okay. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So play around with that. When you play around with this, you might get some strange answers, but as long as you have and you could even delete this and it will give you some strange stuff, but start playing around with that. That's the first thing. Okay.
And is there any, so in that prompt template there, do you have any of those like workarounds that you know they're gonna ignore whatever they're trained at ChatGPT?
That's a good question. So with the legal stuff, I'm not entirely sure, because that's something that's on OpenAI's side that we don't necessarily control.
I know that's what I'm trying to get at, because it's things that aren't even legal that they're like, so I used to be able to do things with it, like even last month, that I can't do with it anymore. And it's getting like tighter and tighter. And you're like, you know, what do I do when I get pulled over? It's like, we can't give you legal advice, you know?
Yeah.
And, you know, we're just trying to have a simple Q&A for lawyers or for, you know, whatever it is. We have to have answers to those questions. And then it says, oh, you can't give simple legal advice. And we have a disclaimer that says this is not legal advice. This is research, you know?
Yeah.
And so it's a conversational research tool.
Definitely. I think that definitely will be improved when other models become available outside of OpenAI. Unfortunately, I think that's that's one of the
So the
negative
best
things.
thing I can do right now is just spend the time and have my data entry guys take as much as they can and put it into the Q&A, because it seems like the Q&A default is stronger than
It
like
is.
the document side, because I uploaded a dictionary, right? Like a legal dictionary. And yeah,
I love it.
trying to see. Oh, bro, I've got tons of them to upload into there, but just to see what I can get out. And like, it's kind of hit or miss, because
Yeah.
it I think we'll be able to tweak it and get it there, but there's so much tweaking that has to go involved in this training side of things. I wasn't prepared for that, like how fiddly it is. And then so my question is, like, for example, I just went to my WordPress site, the only WordPress site that I have on GoDaddy, which is super shit, and it was down today. So I called GoDaddy and I'm like, what the fuck? Why is this down? Right. And it's every time I go to that site, and it's every time GoDaddy. So what I'm saying is, my question is, how do we pay attention? So once we think we get it dialed in, how are we going to know if it stays dialed in?
Managing the conversations tab.
Okay. So just really reviewing the conversations tab.
Yeah. Viewing the conversations, and then future stuff will allow you to kind of receive notifications when certain things happen. So for example, and this is all kind of related to some of the things I was mentioning earlier to everyone else in the call, with the idea of being able to capture information inside a chat, or let's say someone's interested in talking with a human, or they want to book a call. Like, these could all be what's called handoff prompts. And these handoff prompts will allow you to not only be notified from that action and, trigger an action, but also be able to take that action. So that will allow you to manage certain scenarios where you don't necessarily want to be notified by every chat conversation that's happening, but you do want to be notified when every time someone puts in their email, or everyone says, I'm interested in X, Y, or Z.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay. And did you explain, and I missed it, I apologize for being late.
No worries.
Did you explain that new Stripe integration with the levels, just so I can be clear on how that works?
In relation to is it the auto billing stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll recap that real quick. So that's the ability to make sure that you never run out of credits and chatbots.
Okay. So that's what that's for. Okay.
Exactly. So if your agency has 5 available and a customer purchases one of your tiers that happens to have 10, with auto billing enabled, Stammer will charge you for an additional 5, which brings you to a total of 10. And then your customer will receive those 10. And then your agency will now have 0 in the current available. So it's direct. The exact amount that a customer needs, or the exact amount that your account needs, is the amount that will be purchased from Stammer.
Clear. And what's the current rate per pull?
For the chatbots, it's 15. I believe it's 15. There's like 3 different tiers. I should put that on that page too.
You're going to do a replay on this?
Yeah, all the office hours now are uploaded to YouTube within a few days.
Great.
So, where is it? Here we go. So if you get between 1 and 4, they're $15 a piece each per month.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So that's those 3.
But what about the queries? So how many calls do we get from each one?
For
the extra credits. What's the credit system exactly?
So for credits, it's based off of these 3 tiers. So $10 is 2,000 credits, 50, 12,500, 100 is 35,000. And this is what your agency would be charged from Stammer.
Gotcha.
And the idea is, like, you would make your own version of these 3 tiers as your your additional credit packages. And so when somebody signs up in, let's say your tier has one chatbot and 5,000 message credits. If you, or let's say it's 10,000 credits in this example, for message credits specifically, it's based off of these 3 tiers. So
I got you.
The system will auto calculate and charge you based off of the tier that you need to make sure that you fulfill the amount of credits that your customer has just purchased from you.
And that's auto billing all the way through from the customer to you as well, right?
This is just at the agency level. So
okay, so the auto billing is just for me, it's not for my customers.
Not yet. By the end of this week, we should have that done, auto billing for sub accounts. So that will ensure that their chatbots never run out of credits.
Okay, I love it.
When they do, they will be charged by you. So they will add their credit card details to your white label, to their sub account in your white label dashboard. And then when they go below X amount of credits, they will automatically pay you. So Stripe will automatically charge them. And then, for example, if you don't have enough, credits in your available, then you will be auto charged by us. But essentially, because you're charging more per credit than we're charging you, most people are charging 1 cent per credit. So it's more than double the cost.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Cool. Anybody just feel free.
And the API is up and running?
API is up and running. Yep.
Congratulations, guys. So
thank you.
We can connect it to anything then. So we do have that. What did you say that was actually called, where you can basically have those calls out to trigger the action? So can we actually hook that up into anything and trigger live calls, trigger we could, the possibilities are endless, correct? There's really nothing we can't do with it as far as the trigger is concerned.
In what regard? Typically right now the triggers are whatever that message is coming from.
Meaning, what do you mean?
So right now, if you signing up for Stammer and engaging it and embedding it on your website allows you to have that embeddable chatbot on the website, and you can have people there. But let's say you're getting a lot of messages on Instagram DMs or Facebook Messenger. So with the API, you could sit it behind Facebook Messenger by using something like Zapier. And so the trigger in that workflow, in that automation sequence, the trigger would be a new message from a user on Facebook Messenger. That message from that user on Facebook is then sent to Stammer via the API, which then it's received, the answer is received, and then you can then send it back to that user in Facebook via a third step.
Okay. Wow, that's really deep. I like that. Now, how about if I want to trigger SMS? I can just ask them for their telephone number when they say this or this, and I will instantly send you an SMS and then put it through Twilio or whatever it is, and it's done, correct?
It's the other way. So the chat has to be started, and then the AI response can be threaded on the SMS channel. So the same way that we would create it here. So so this is one example sitting behind a Slack channel.
Okay.
So the new message comes in from Slack. That message is then sent via the API. So it's the query is the message. It's being sent to this specific chatbot via my white label API. And then this is the API key that you can generate via your dashboard. And
Okay.
then this will receive that message back from the chatbot, which you can then send back to the user in that third step. So think of, so in SMS, you could replace these two, number 1 and number 3 with the SMS steps. You receive an SMS from a user or an action. So like you could do this outbound with GHL, with Go High Level. Are you familiar with that?
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
perfect. So in that scenario, the trigger could be anything. They could submit, literally anything. And then you could send that information to a chatbot, which then generates a response. And then that response could be the initial message that gets sent out in GHL via SMS.
Okay, nice. So if I have them, okay. Okay, if I have them not on mobile, if I have them on desktop, can I initiate an SMS through the API then? So if they're already on the chat, so if they're on my website on desktop and they're about to buy something and I want to send them a coupon code to their to their phone, can I do that?
So the way, like, how would they be like, so right now you'd have to collect their phone number via some other method.
Right. Okay.
The collection form right now is only email and phone number.
Okay.
We will be making that a fully customizable form, including first name, last name, all the standard fields, plus fully customizable fields.
Okay.
When that becomes available, that will also include another endpoint option in the API. That will allow you to then collect that data and then send it to your CRM, but it could also allow you to collect that phone number and then that pipes the message through. So we can't actually send the text message. That has to be done by, like you mentioned, like a Twilio or something else.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But essentially I can connect all the dots there.
Correct. Exactly.
Okay,
so
cool.
Here's a quick example of what that might look like in GHL. So this is also another example, but this could be, a customer reply channel from SMS.
Okay.
Then the same way the user that is sent. So you're pasting in essentially 3 different things. You're pasting in your API URL.
Yep.
You're pasting in your API token key.
Yep.
And then you're pasting in the actual ID of the exact chatbot that you want to be talking to.
Okay.
And then the message body is the actual variable that we're capturing from the first step right here.
Love it.
And that's this variable right here, message body.
Got it.
And once we get the response, that's what this looks like right here. So this is the raw data. And because GHL is able to parse this data into custom fields, we're able to select the answer field. And then that's what we send back to the customer on Facebook Messenger.
Okay. Here's a question. Another one that you answered me. Thank you.
Yeah.
I got one more question.
Yeah.
So I'm selling like widgets, okay? And I got 100 different widgets and people are on my chatbot saying, which is the right widget for me, okay? And it comes up and it turns out it's widget ABC, okay? So there's a link to that widget in my checkout. Is it possible through the Zapier to kind of connect that through WordPress to through the actual checkout system?
Can you rephrase or say it again?
So can I add products? Would I be able to add products through the chatbot to my checkout?
Products checkout.
Yeah, like, so I'm using the chatbot as a knowledge base. Like I'm trying to like learn how, like, which skincare product is best for me. And it gives me like 3 skincare products. And I'm like, okay, I want that one put it in my checkout, and I'm going to ask extra things. Would that be,
Got it.
that would be programmable with,
so right now it would be like, here's the exact link to the product that you want that you should add
Yep.
to your cart. It can't
Yep.
actually add it to your cart.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. Down the line, we are one of the first things, I come from a Shopify background as well. So one of the things that we wanted to do is make a direct Shopify app integration that could not only pull like inventory availability or quantity, but
Yep.
also pull tracking information on stuff like that. And then eventually
I
being
love
able
it. Yeah. Like, when is my product going to arrive? And
Yeah.
when,
It's like,
I
it's
ordered this
delayed.
shit. Where is it? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry about that, but let me find out. Yeah. So
Okay, good.
yeah, so a lot of those things are kind of on the forefront.
And will that only be with Shopify, or do you think we can do it with WordPress as well?
We actually already made a WordPress app internally. We just
Okay.
haven't released it out yet,
Oh,
because
okay.
there's a couple other endpoints that we like. For example, collecting data on the form and being able to send that data to a CRM. That's
Yep.
one of those other endpoints that we need to make sure, in addition to the customizable forms. So the feature set, and this I was mentioning some other guys earlier, like we really focused on building the platform of being able to white label and align our software with your agency, with you guys as agencies, and then establish and build out more functionality with the actual features of the chatbot. And so over time, we'll continuously add more of these little tweaks and changes and things that will allow us to, specifically integrate with WordPress, or have a custom a native integration with Facebook, rather than having to go through GHL or through Zapier.
Yeah, cool. Listen, I'm patient. I'm not like in a rush. I mean, the training part is for me, it's the hardest thing, because it's like, it's really, if you want to do it right, like you got to put in the work. And I think that's what like maybe is hard for people to comprehend in some cases. Like it almost seems like your bot is only as good as the person that's training it.
And the data that you get it. So
Correct.
a lot of times I tell people, like, when you first started out, it's like a child. It doesn't know what it doesn't know. And
Yep.
because the base system prompt is rather important to how it acts, the more lengthy that base system prompt gets within reason, typically the better
results you're gonna find.
Exactly. So this was something I shared earlier with everyone else. So this is a really cool tutorial that you could essentially copy and paste into ChatGPT.
Okay.
And so it's so you literally just copy and paste from here to here, and you would change the website URL with whatever target business that you're making a chatbot for.
Okay.
And so what it's going to do is going to take this generic template for a base system prompt, and you can see that there's a bunch of placeholders here.
Yep.
And then using one of the ChatGPT plugins called Web Pilot, it will pull down the information from the website that you put in here and fill in the information into this template prompt, similar to the one that I put in here that's filled out for Stammer.
Okay. And which plugin is that we have to use?
It's called Web Pilot.
Web Pilot.
Yeah, so it looks like that little guy right there.
Coolio. And that does that automatically into Stammer?
Well, it will generate the prompt for you in ChatGPT, and then you can just
copy and paste
it back over. Yeah.
And we can do that into that query and REST box, and exactly what you prescribed to me before.
Sorry, say it again.
Into that original where I had the question about getting around legal or whatever it would be, I could put that. That's the same box, right?
Is
that
different one actually? So that
different one.
Let me clarify.
Okay.
Yeah. So
yes, please.
The base system prompt, that's this one right here.
That's your base. Okay.
Yeah. So
and what was the other one that you called the?
That's when you go into advanced and you go next to the one that has the warning. So this is
the prompt template. Okay.
I mean, we should probably actually change the names of these somehow, because that's a very similar. But
Yep.
yeah, it's the one with the big warning.
Okay, perfect. I like big warnings. That means you should definitely go there.
Yeah, mess with it, right? Yeah.
Yeah. It's like
That's where the fun happens.
absolutely. The first time I went to Russia, everybody told me, don't go there, don't go there. Best place I ever been, you know what I mean?
Love it. Love it. Yeah. It's hilarious. So how people try to break, test them and break. I mean, we've had people try to make like sports betting bots. I mean, it's all over the place. It's ridiculous.
Wow. How's that working?
You'd have to ask them, but I'm out in Vegas. That was one of the first things that we thought of. And I was like, how do we use AI to, get a lead? And then once you realize like you're checking baseball scores 10 times a day, you're like, okay, maybe it's time to get back to work,
Yeah, exactly. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, thank you, brother. You really filled me in there, and I appreciate it. That was incredibly what I needed, because I was like breaking my head on it and I didn't want to break the system. So now I know that I can't.
Yeah. Well, at least within reason. And if you do, just let us know and we'll try to, we'll work with you to get things rolling.
You're awesome, brother. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it. Thank you. So as we wrap today's call up, just a heads up, pricing is increasing tomorrow. So I'm doing bonuses now on everyone that joins office hours call. So if you sign up, you can put your email in the chat, and I'll add 5 additional chatbots to your account, regardless of whatever level you get. So if you're interested, or if you already have an account and you decide to go with a paid account, we'll get that added to your account. Other than that, we'll keep everyone updated with some of these updates. On the next kind of things that we're working on this week are a lot of updates for personalization. So think more control and customization over how the actual chatbots physically look to your clients, and how they look to or to your clients' users, and how they look to your clients inside your dashboard. And this is going to step off kind of the next big endeavor that we have with improving the dashboard customizations as well. So being able to update and change the colors of like all these things up here, and being able to change and customize the login page as well. So we'll be able to allow you guys to customize this, add your logo, all these other
Hey,
things.
can I ask you one more question?
Yeah.
I saw some chatter about Go High Level having some kind of AI bot patent shit. Is that going to, and I say shit with a capital SHIT, is that going to affect us using you as the base? Like, are we going to have to move over to their platform, or will it not interrupt our service for long-term investment in you guys and what we're doing here?
Yeah, no, it shouldn't affect us at all. Their whole thing revolves around them getting people to use their SMS service so they can make money on everything. So because they still don't offer a legitimate chatbot widget. And since that's where we're focused on, our competitors are more directly aimed at like Intercom and some of these bigger guys, because we're going to be going after more features that revolve around customer support, not building websites or even anything related to their AI stuff. So
so they won't kick us out or ban us from the system, and your relationship there is good, so that shouldn't be a problem, right?
Yeah. I'm a paying customer of GHL, so if they start giving me problems, then I'll just
then we all have problems.
Well, I'll just remake their platform next.
Gotcha. Well, hopefully we don't have to do that, because
hopefully not.
it's easier not to recreate the wheel. I
Exactly.
I agree. Yeah. So thank you, gentlemen. That was my only question.
You're very welcome. Any last other questions from anybody else? Jeff, Lucas?
Yep. If I may.
Yeah.
Yeah, talking about the API, there's one thing will it be possible to separate, let's say we have two client packages, will it be possible to separate a chatbot without the capabilities that we talked about with the API and with, or will it be automatically within the chatbot itself? And if you know what I mean.
Do you mean like another function, or
Let's say I have two packages for clients to subscribe to. Will it be possible, or will there be some way for me to take care of that? To, let's say we have the cheaper one, not include API or possibilities, or all the possibilities with that, and the higher tier one to do that.
Gotcha. Right now, it's for everybody.
Right.
Yeah. So the short answer is no.
Right. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Does that answer your question?
Yeah. Well, it does.
Okay.
For sure. Yeah, thank you. And when using, for example, answering question through Facebook or anything like that, still uses 1 credit, or is there any different? Still 1 credit, right?
It's still 1 credit, exactly.
Yeah,
As long regardless API anywhere, and regardless of the length of the response, that's the other thing. It will be 1 message credit, and then GPT-4 responses right now are 25 credits per response, and that's because OpenAI charges us 30 times as much for each response.
Yeah, right.
So,
gotcha. Thank you.
Yeah. Cool. Anybody else?
I'm good.
Good to go. Awesome.
Can you repeat that? I'm sorry, it's Adam again.
Yeah.
You said it's 25 credits per response?
For the GPT-4 responses specifically, and that's, you're able to select if you want GPT 3.5 or GPT-4 per chatbot.
And how much is the 3.5?
3.5 is just one credit.
It's 1-to-1. And then do we anticipate that price going down?
I do, yes, 100%.
Okay, perfect. Is there any timeline, or has they given any indication? Just nobody knows.
Nobody knows. The last price decrease they did was maybe a month ago. And they reduced their what's called text embeddings. They reduced of text embeddings by 70% in that update. So
wow. Okay.
Yeah, it was just like, oh, okay, like that's insane.
Yeah.
So I think as we start to get closer to them releasing multimodal, and like people are starting to get seeded their multimodal, which is supposed to be GPT 4.5. And multimodal is being able to upload an image and then it knows what's in the image, and being able to like interface, or being able to upload audio or a video and then it knows what's in the audio or video. That's, people are saying that's 4.5. It's not official yet, but my belief from how they've done things in the past is they release this as beta to beta users, or like a small cohort of beta users. Then that starts to get released. Then a price drop increases. Then it gets released to public. So
gotcha.
that
the
timeline.
Apple model. Yeah.
Sorry.
I said the Apple model.
Pretty much, yeah. And they're following it to a T, and based off of how their business seems to be running, I would expect, the last cycle took 6 months ish for them to do that, up from January till June or so. And I think the next one is going to happen before the end of the year.
Okay, super. So are you going to like really help us with those new features as they come out, as far as like,
of course,
how to pitch those? Because
of course,
that shit kind of blows my mind already.
Yeah. And the good thing is, like, I'm talking to a fair amount, like me and a couple other guys on our team. We're talking to a lot of agencies and how they're using AI specifically in their businesses today.
Yep.
So we'll be able to kind of aggregate, like we have been doing, aggregate all that feedback and advice and essentially just use that to exactly build what we need to build.
Yeah. I mean, I was talking to one group today and they're like in the trucking business, which is like really low tech.
Mhm.
And they're just doing like marketing from 10 years ago and guys are worried about their jobs. And I'm like, if you understand what we're doing right now, your 50% of your company should be worried about their jobs because everything is going to be replaced by us.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong.
Yeah, it's I mean, I already see it, you know. I mean, it's going that direction, and this is thank you for getting this done, man. I appreciate it, guys. Really.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you for the
Good
kind
work.
feedback.
Hey, appreciate you.
Yeah, likewise. Cool. Awesome. Well, thanks guys. Appreciate you for showing up today. We'll send out some more updates later this week, and then I got all your emails written down, so we'll get that added when you guys sign up. So let us know if you have any other questions.
Cool. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks guys. Take care. See ya.
Thanks so much. Take care. Bye bye.